Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to All Things Social Security. I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at Joy Disability. Welcome to the channel, and I hope you enjoy the video. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and TGIF, and happy Red Friday. We use our Fridays here to honor our deployed military members who cannot be with their families today like we can be. So we appreciate you, and our Fridays here with Friday Fraud Law Review are dedicated to you and only you. So thank you for everything you do, and be safe. This particular TGIF Fraud Law Review is out of, why am I not surprised, Massachusetts. It seems to be a hotbed for fraud these days. And here is this person pled guilty, so I can say his name. The title to the Office of Inspector General report is Lead Defendant in Multi-State SNAP and PUA Fraud Conspiracy Pleads Guilty. So what happened here? There's been some discussion about the little interim here, the federalization of welfare benefits and other programs that are constitutionally under the auspices of state powers, but somehow our federal government has usurped much of it and then charged taxes accordingly, whereas a state could have done it probably better and charged their own taxes as they saw fit. We've been doing a lot of research on this, and separately from obviously my work here. It's just kind of interesting. Oversight, I think, might be better if it's state oriented instead of the feds from way over here and centralized over here trying to figure out what's going on in Massachusetts. So anyway, let's get to this one because it looks kind of vague. It's a Fitchburg, Massachusetts man who pled guilty to his role in a fraud scheme that used the stolen identities of more than 100 individuals to obtain almost $500,000 in SNAP benefits from Massachusetts and Rhode Island. So basically, he's stealing from the poor. The defendant and his alleged co-conspirators also fraudulently obtained over $700,000 in pandemic unemployment assistance benefits from Massachusetts, New York, my state of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Washington, and Nevada. This guy's name is Paul Fernandez. I might butcher his last name, Visioso. I think it's Visioso. Vicioso. He is a mere 37 years old. He should definitely know better. He pled guilty to conspiracy to commit SNAP fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, SNAP benefit fraud itself, aiding and abetting, and money laundering. No wonder why this judge's name sounds familiar. I just did her in a different one because Massachusetts keeps popping up. Judge Margaret R. Guzman. She's scheduled the sentencing for July 9th. I always want to know, is the OIG going to report it here about the sentence when it's all said and done? Because most of us are so busy doing other things, such as handling Social Security disability cases, that we can't necessarily go and add it to our list of things to do. It'd be nice if they followed up with their stories here so we could know what happened. What's part two? Did the government continue doing the right job? They got the guy, the law enforcement got the guy, the prosecutors charged him, so we're doing pretty good, because sometimes the prosecutions send him loose. Now is the sentencing, assuming the person is convicted. Oh, he was convicted. Sorry. Yeah. But in all the other cases, report back the sentencing. We'd love to hear it. So he was charged just this year on February 3rd. His alleged co-conspirators, I'm not going to say their names because they have not been convicted yet, right? Yes, they've been charged. And I will say, looks like guys and girls perhaps were both involved. Anyway, Mr. Visioso and his co-conspirators purchased and used the stolen personal information of over 100 real people from multiple states to fraudulently obtain SNAP benefits. The stolen identities were used to create 24 households in SNAP applications. All these applications submitted in the names of over 100 people were listed as living in 2 single-family apartments in Providence, Rhode Island. Wow, can you imagine pushing 100 people if they could actually live in 2 single-family apartments? They all have the same address. What if that was what gave it away? I don't know. What do you think? I wonder if they tell us what year they did this. So the number of stolen identities from Connecticut, Florida, Kentucky, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico were used to fraudulently obtain SNAP benefits in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. This nasty man, Visioso, used his own personal information to create fraudulent SNAP benefit accounts that were found commingled among the victim identities in the applications. He ain't that smart, guys. In support of the fraudulently submitted SNAP applications, the defendants and their co-conspirators allegedly provided images of counterfeit passports and passport cards with metadata that indicated the images were taken inside or within the immediate vicinity of El Primo restaurant, a restaurant operated by Mr. Visioso in Leominster, Massachusetts. El Primo restaurant, apparently, is operated by Mr. Visioso in Leominster, Massachusetts. So if it's operated by him, what does that mean? He's like a hired manager by the person who owns it. I don't know. Weird how the camera does it, isn't it? So defendants and their co-conspirators allegedly used the fraudulent SNAP benefit cards to purchase large quantities of expensive bulk foods, such as multiple pound packages of chicken, beef, and pork at various local wholesalers and food markets to stock El Primo restaurant at no expense. With their supply, they stole from the poor to make profits. With their supplies obtained for free through fraudulent SNAP benefits, they sold menu items at El Primo restaurant at a complete profit, later wiring the fraud proceeds to individuals living in Venezuela and the Dominican Republic, among other places. Wow. So this is part of an international scheme. Really? Oh, seriously? Come on, no. They say that doesn't really happen. Yeah, they say a lot of things. According to the charging documents, between April of 2020 and December of 2021, the defendants and their co-conspirators further enriched themselves by over $700,000 by submitting fraudulent applications and supporting documents for the pandemic unemployment. Is that what we're talking about? Assistance in Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Nevada. What a big scheme going on here. Those fraudulent PUA benefits were issued in the names of Mr. Visioso and another person that I'm not going to name the name because I don't know that he's pled guilty or been found guilty. And in the names of suspected identity theft victims, including identities common to the related SNAP benefit fraud. At least 29 different identities were allegedly used in the PUA applications in 6 different states, all of which listed the address for El Primo restaurant as a residential address. Like, where do they live? Down the sink? Come on. In the oven? Please. Wow. I mean, honestly, he did it kind of stupid. Greed will get that to you, though. I think they get away with it for a little bit. It's like gambling. Oh, I won that one. It's easier than I thought. Bank records, I think a lot of times it's a timing thing. Bank records obtained during the investigation detail approximately $276,000 in fraudulent PUA benefits deposited into bank accounts held in the names of the El Primo restaurant and Mr. Visioso, and allegedly that other person, I'm not going to say the name, and other co-conspirators. Other fraudulent PUA benefits were allegedly issued to prepaid cards in the identities of various individuals which were applied for using known addresses and telephone numbers of the subjects. This is a long article. They don't usually get this in depth. I love it. During searches of his residence and the restaurant, fraudulently obtained Massachusetts and Rhode Island EBT cards, fraudulent documents bearing a Providence address involved in the alleged scheme, printed ledgers, and handwritten lists of more than 100 identities and SNAP-related mailings were recovered. Okay. The sentencing of this can be, guys, for the conspiracy to commit SNAP fraud, up to 5 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of $250,000. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud provides for a sentence of up to 20 years in prison. I wonder why there's such a difference. 3 years of supervised release and a fine of $250,000. The illegal acquisition or use of SNAP benefits provides for a sentence of up to 5 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of $250,000. The charge of money laundering provides for a sentence of up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of $500,000, or twice the amount involved in the transaction, whichever is greater. All right. There's a ton of people involved in the investigation. Of course, the SSA was also involved, the Office of Inspector General, which is why they're reporting on it. And of course, it always involves stealing people's social security numbers. So that's that. That's really bad. I hope to see them go away for decades. Yes, I do. Okay. Call me Miss Hard Guy. That'll be me. All right, guys. Thanks again. Deployed. Please be safe. We love you. And everybody else, have a great weekend. Please come to Wednesday's live stream, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Would love to see you. You can either ask a question in the chat, and I promise I'll get to it. Or if you don't want to ask a question, you just rather listen or just rather say hi, please put hi in the chat. I will see it, and it's so appreciated. It just makes me feel cozy. So I would appreciate that. And any attention you can give to our 12 p.m. pre-recorded videos that come out every day. Those are the ones that financially support the ability to do the pro bono work for the 1% or 5% people that we represent. That includes a lot of pro bono hours, and which is why it is typically limited, but less limited now since this channel has started churning a little bit on their behalf. So much appreciated, guys. We appreciate, and have a great weekend. I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.